Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Haley. I'm so happy that you're here. If you're familiar with my life, I recently went to Egypt. I have a vlog all about my trip there. It was such an incredible time and we had the best experience, and I'm obsessed with Egypt. I love it so much. I can't wait to go back. But I got a heap of questions about what I wore in Egypt and what to wear. So I thought I would just share with you guys what I wore in Egypt, what I think is appropriate, and just a little bit of a guide to the clothing and the culture and my experience with it all. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video and let's get into it. So before I went to Egypt, I actually looked up one of these videos because I was really not sure. I was getting a lot of information from a lot of people who'd been to Egypt in the past 20 years, in a while. So I was getting a lot of information, different advice, and as good as that was, I wanted to have someone who had been quite recently, and in the last couple of years at least. So I ended up watching a YouTube video and it was really helpful. So I thought it would be a great idea to make my own. So I didn't bring a lot of clothing on my trip. I mean, I brought a lot. I had a fairly small bag. I carried a backpack and I tried to keep my clothes down to a minimum. It's hard. I love fashion, so I definitely tried. I brought a lot of layers because I felt like that was the best way to make sure I would be warm enough, but also have a lot of different diverse options depending on the range of weather. So because I was there in March, it ranged from 10 degrees to 44 degrees. That's a degrees, not Fahrenheit. So it went from pretty cold to really hot, and that meant that I had to bring a vast range of clothes. So make sure you look into the temperature, the weather before you go, because I had no idea that Egypt could get so cold. It's a desert, so it does make sense. It really has a high range of really cold winters and really hot summers. So depending on the time of year you go, you might need to, be prepared for a range and a temperature increase. So I went there, it started off at 10 degrees, went all the way up to 44 degrees when we were leaving. So it did a huge jump in the time we were there, and that's something I wasn't expecting either. However, because I did look at the weather before we went, I knew I would have to bring some really warm clothes. I didn't want to pack too many jackets and different things, so I went with more of the layering option. So I brought a lot of long sleeves, a lot of light jumpers, lots of different layers so I could just layer myself up. The two heavy items I brought were my puffer jacket from MacPac, my puffer vest, and my fleece from Patagonia. I just felt like those things were really compact. I could really put them small, make them really small, and they fit really well in my small bag. So that was a really good option. Also, they're just really warm, so you can't go wrong with a puffer jacket. And especially during the nights, we went out a lot at night because the culture there is very nightlife, so we spent a lot of time at night, and of course that's a lot colder than it is during the day, so of course keep that in mind. In regards to what I wore comfortably, in a sense of making sure I was respectful to the culture and careful of what I was wearing as a young white female, I actually stayed with my boyfriend's family, who are all Egyptian, and it was a really amazing experience. So I feel like I have a couple different levels on what I can talk about. If I was going purely from a tourist perspective, I would say be as conservative as you want. It's really up to your level of comfort. I wanted to be more respectful, and so I made sure that I was completely covered, arms, legs, chest, completely covered whenever I was out in public with both my boyfriend's family and just on our own. especially in Cairo, which is the capital city of Egypt. Super, super busy, and where we were, it was more local areas, so that's something to really keep in mind where you're staying. If you're staying in a very touristy area, that's a little bit different. If you're staying in a more local area, definitely keep in mind and just be respectful to the culture. I also brought a little scarf, a nice little linen scarf that I wore just like this if I was going anywhere at night or alone or just with my boyfriend. However, I felt really, really comfortable and safe and didn't feel like I needed to wear it when I was like around his family or with his family. So it's also like I said, completely up to yourself and your comfortability on how much you want to cover up. But the less you cover up, the more attention you'll get, and that might not be a good a good thing. So I would recommend at least covering your arms and your legs and your backside whenever you're in like a local or busier area. You'll just draw like unwanted attention, and it's not pleasant. So those are my recommendations. My experience there, however, was super, super pleasant. I actually didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I think a big portion of that was because I was staying with my boyfriend's family, and they are just really, really lovely. And whenever we went out, I felt super, super safe. I felt super, super like comfortable in everything that I was wearing. Like I said, I was still covered, but I never felt like I had too much attention drawn my way. However, my boyfriend and I did go away to Luxor, just the two of us, for 4 days. Luxor is a smaller city in Egypt, and it is where the Valley of the Kings are. It's a very, very touristy spot, and we stayed in a very touristy hotel, and because of that I felt a lot more comfortable to wear more normal clothes, what I would wear normally. So I wore long maxi dresses, but some of the maxi dresses had short sleeves. I felt comfortable wearing that. I was around a lot of tourists that were also wearing that, and it was in a area that was very touristy. They were very used to seeing people wearing those kind of clothes. And also in the hotel, I wore a lot more like the clothes I would wear regularly. So that's my advice on the levels of what to wear. I would suggest being more modest and covered up in areas that are a lot more populated and a lot more local, and I would say you'll probably be more comfortable in more touristy or hotel areas to wear what you regularly wear. But again, this is all a level, and it's all about how comfortable you are and how comfortable you want to make other people feel. And that's something that I really, really care about, is respecting other cultures and dressing accordingly. But that doesn't mean you have to not dress to your style. I worked with King Asila, so they sent me a bunch of beautiful linen dresses. I wore a lot of my favorite clothes from Jerf Avenue, the button-up shirts. I highly recommend just getting a few really nice flowy button-up shirts, a few flowy linen dresses. You're going to want something that's really breathable but long, so linen is probably the way to go. These are a few of my favorite outfits that I wore. I love this linen dress. As you can see, it's long sleeve. This was quite hot, so just keep that in mind. I was wearing it on a 40-degree day and was dying, but still, like, I could still wear it. I really recommend getting a nice pair of linen pants, or flowy pants at least. I wore these ones from Verge Girl like every single day almost. I was obsessed with them. I had a couple pairs of linen pants and I just swapped them over. I also brought a pair of jeans, but these were not skinny jeans. These were really baggy jeans, and of course I covered the bum with a long shirt whenever I was wearing them. I loved wearing my button-ups from Jerf Avenue. I wore them a lot. I just feel like they were super loose, flowy, breezy, and long, so they covered really well. As you can see, I still really kept my style. I still wore pieces that were really true to me, but just like fell in line with what I felt comfortable wearing there. My top 3 clothing items I would recommend taking would be linen pants, linen shirt, linen dress, or just a flowy top, flowy pants, and flowy dress. You're going to want something loose that's not super skin tight. One, because less attention drawn to you, and two, because you're gonna want that breeze flowing through you, because it is hot. It gets really, really hot. As for shoes, because this is something I wasn't sure what to wear, I brought my Birkenstocks. I saw someone saying that when they were wearing sandals, they got a lot of attention drawn to their feet. I didn't find that at all, and personally I love my Birkenstocks because I feel like they're really comfy and supportive on my feet. Breathable, you know, I don't care if they get dirty. My feet got dirty, but I just showered every night and washed them. It is what it is. It's very dusty there, so keep that in mind with whatever you're wearing. Maybe don't wear your whitest whites. I still did, but like, they're gonna get dirty. I also wore my Converse. Love them. They were super durable, wore them a lot. They go with everything, so I love that about the Converse. So I'd say a pair of sneakers, Birkenstocks, and maybe a pair of sandals, or, you know, running shoes, whatever you want. I had another pair of sandals that were a little bit more dressed up, and that was all I took. It was super, super simple shoes. I don't wish I brought any more. I'm really happy with my selection. I feel like they worked really well, and were really comfortable when exploring all the temples. That's what I wore in Egypt. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, or if I missed something that you're curious about, definitely leave them below. I've got a lot of my outfits featured on my Instagram, so go check that out, Habits of Hayley. And yeah, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So yeah, shoot me a DM, comment them below. I'm more than happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.